Hello and welcome to Please Don't Send Me Into Outer Space, the podcast intent on exploring all that science fiction and fantasy has to offer, one movie at a time. My name is Joel.
My name is Sarah.
My name is Aaron.
The movie this week is 1990, I Guerrieri del Bronx. No, obviously I don't speak Italian at all. 1990, The Bronx Warriors from 1982. Directed by Enzo G. Castellari and written by Dandano Sacchidi, Enzo G. Castellari, and Anton Pagan. Starring Mark Gregory. I don't think that his actual name is not Marco de Gregorio. And Fred Williamson, Vic Morrow, Christopher Connolly. George Eastman. George Eastman was the weird guy with the ponytail that showed up at the end. It's like, where'd this guy come from? Just like Cyrax from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, totally.
That's where he got the idea.
I felt like in this whole movie we didn't know who was in charge. Because in the end we went to some, leaders. Anyway, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but yeah, I was surprised by that new character they introduced us to.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fred Williamson's character was supposed to be the big boss man. You know, he was the ogre.
Mm-hmm.
And his gang of classic car owners were living in a plush paradise.
In their pimp suits.
Yep.
And their feathers and their hats.
Mm-hmm. Their birthday cakes or whatever. It wasn't a birthday cake.
Piano playing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Piano playing.
Mm-hmm. Zebra skin rugs.
That's right.
Yep.
Elegant ladies wearing capes and spikes on their hands.
Oh, man. So many body weapons in this movie.
Yeah.
We were introduced to those in the movie's exciting title sequence as well.
That set me up for way more excitement than the movie actually had.
Okay.
It's like,
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not have high expectations of this. In fact, it's more well known, I think, than I imagined it would be. I hadn't heard of it before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's famous for being a Italian knockoff of some movies that were popular in the era. So.
I mean, most notably The Warriors, I felt.
It's right there in the title. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's supposed to be kind of like Escape from New York.
Yeah.
You know, it's a desolate town. And there are no rules once you get into the Bronx. Which I assume that's the way it is today, so I'm not sure. I haven't been to the Bronx. Sarah, you went to the Bronx, didn't you? Did they have rules when you were there?
I haven't been there, but I don't think there were rules.
Oh, okay.
It said something like they've given up all attempts to, uphold the law and, a normal society have been thrown out in this place. It's the no man's land.
Yeah, there it is.
And it's just you're on your own. It's a free for all in there.
I'm not sure if you could hear that explosion, but that was Nick blowing up a wall. He's not on this episode. He is playing Resident Evil 2 remake in the background though. So yeah, okay, so the worst of the worst. Oh yeah, I heard that screaming.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
I was worried. I don't have a magical ring right now to run away with.
Well, I have a magical ring, but you can't use it. I'm using it right now.
Oh.
That's why you can't see me, and I'm completely naked.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, I was going to say that if the worst of the worst is supposed to be in the Bronx, I think the worst of the worst was like 60 people at the most.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because
Pretty, like, scaled back and minimal and, like, yeah, few and far between.
yeah, separated into very distinct groups of no distinct race, although mostly white people from what I could see. And we got bikers, and that's our main hot group, the riders. And our main stud from that is a man called Trash. Now, how would you describe Trash? I mean, is he the ideal human?
He's built
It could be.
like a dancer. Like I could see him performing a dance.
Any dance.
Any dance. Like he'd be like the ideal person to do like the history of dance, or I don't know.
His reflexes and his posture and just like watching the guy walk is like, have you ever walked before? Like, have you ever worn a pair of pants and shoes? Like, it just was a little bit awkward, but also in an odd way graceful.
Yeah, he definitely had there were a few scenes where when he was walking, I definitely was like, is this his first time on Earth?
Right.
Like, it's the walk of a newborn.
It's like literally his first time being on film.
Oh, he might have been nervous.
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing. I feel like it's the movements and actions of somebody who is like, how am I looking on camera? Like, I want to try to look natural, which if you've ever tried to do that where it's like, well, just act natural. Like all of a sudden your limbs get all stiff. Like, oh, just walking there, guys. What's up?
I have a feeling he was told multiple times before scenes to act natural.
I feel like maybe they told him to like puff out his chest a bunch more or something. He looks like a wind-up toy. Yeah. It's like...
Yeah, poor guy.
Well, not to put Nick on the spot here, but Nick has a very similar body type.
Oh.
You know,
but
if
Nick doesn't stand like that.
No. But if Nick hit the gym, I'm saying, let's put him in a shirtless, without a shirt,
get him
and
a
just
vest.
a vest on.
Leather vest.
Leather vest, get him a
tight
elbow.
jeans.
Oh, yeah.
Very tight jeans.
Cher's wig.
Nick's jeans would be very revealing.
Oh.
Do you also wear...
Do you wear a long, wavy wig? The hair, long,
what about a spiky
hair.
elbow pad?
Oh, you need at least one elbow pad with a spike on it. A single spike.
Right on the elbow.
Spike
Right on the
elbow. On the elbow.
For poking people, if necessary.
If
Illustrated
Nick had
thusly.
long curly hair. No, I'm just kidding.
Nick's definitely had long hair.
He's had
before.
long
I
hair
remember that.
before, yeah.
He just got
that's
curled
true.
that up. In order for
Oh, dude, Nick. Did you ever have a leather vest?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
right.
So Nick is going to attempt to dress his children up, but you didn't actually say that, but that's what I'm hoping.
Oh,
Yeah.
as the 1990 Bronx?
Some children cosplaying, yeah. Yeah, we got, you gotta have a Trash, and you have to have a, not Hot Dog. Hot Dog wasn't useful, that guy. You got some real choice names here. The Ogre, Hammer, Anne. Okay, I guess that was not
What
good.
was the name of the Chappelle gentleman who reminded me of a Chappelle skit?
The hobo.
The hobo?
Yeah.
Did he have a character name? Was he Hot Dog?
That was Hot Dog.
Oh, okay.
Hot Dog was the guy in the truck. Is that
Oh,
who you're talking about?
no, sir. I'm talking about the gentleman who reminded me of a Chappelle skit guy, the homeless guy who just kind of walked around muttering to himself. But he had like a red beanie
Oh
on.
no!
He looked
Yeah,
just
I mean,
like that
he was in 2 scenes technically for 30 seconds each. I don't think he got a name.
Oh, fair enough.
But Hammer was walking by him
Mm-hmm.
in order to assassinate those 2 people that were passionately smooching on a staircase.
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. So, do you have a plan about how we're gonna try to tackle this thing? Or?
Oh, I guess if we wanted to talk about a general plot, that's probably a good idea.
Well, the intro to the movie, like you were saying, in the titles they give you all the weapons. that you can see up close on different body parts. And then they have this part where the bikers, well, it starts off with the girl, doesn't it? It starts off with the girl running and into no man's land.
She's running across a bridge.
And
like her life depended on it.
We have no idea what's going on, but these guys with hockey sticks on roller skates wearing these like big triangular tops.
I mean, you know, it's like hockey gear that somebody would slap together with like whatever they had around the house.
Yeah, true.
But they got the good steak. They got hockey sticks and they got good skates. But they want this girl for some reason. I don't know if it's just because she stumbled into their territory or maybe they know about her already. But I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, I think it's just like, oh, it's a tough place. There's this tension, and then the bikers come, and you don't know if the bikers are good or bad. You don't know if anybody's good or bad.
That's true. We don't have a good bearing on anyone and what their affiliation is.
Do you feel like we're supposed to know if they're good or bad?
All we know is that based on the voiceover and the goofballs in whatever office they are talking about, this is a rough place.
Right.
And people don't survive for very long from the outside that end up on here. So
You're kidding me. She's been seen going into the Bronx?
I am an American, and I demand that she is returned to us. She is going to inherit...
She stands to inherit...
hundreds of dollars. No. She's gonna be a millionaire. That's why, it's just... She's running away from responsibility.
Literally.
But... the bikers do save her.
I mean, too good.
I honestly think you're supposed to look at Trash and be like, this fair-skinned, muscular man of a man can't be evil.
They take a moment looking at him, and I thought that it was supposed to be because she was checking him out. Like, from her perspective, she was like, this is a good-looking guy. But now, I think that it's kind of meant for the audience to be like, look at this man.
It's everything. Every woman wants him. Every man wants to be him.
I feel like, he ends up helping her by brutally killing these guys.
As you do.
With a giant spike on his elbow. But, I mean, she's not afraid of him. It's like she'd follow him off a cliff after that. Like, just in that 1 second, it's like love at first sight or something.
Love at first elbow,
but spike stab. You don't know anything about him except for how he looks, at that point.
Well, I believe he was kind enough to ask her if she was okay.
Oh, right. That's all that matters. If somebody asks you if you're okay.
The only courtesy this woman has had in this whole world, she fell in love with him right away.
She's a teenager. Teenagers are naturally naive. I mean, we were all naive when we were teenagers. I remember this one time I was being attacked by this group of hockey pad wearing weirdos, and a guy on a motorcycle showed up and saved me. And you know what? I slept with that guy.
Aww. Too cute, Joel.
And I joined his gang.
Boy.
Did you join his gang?
I miss you, Wrench.
So cute. Good story.
Spanner and hammer and chisel.
I mean, there's there's Ice. Ice with his glasses, and he's got a big mouth.
Yep.
And then there's other guy who seems to be also in love with Trash, but I don't know his name.
Oh.
You know what Ice reminds me of?
Who does Ice remind you of?
He reminds me of the bad guy Chains in oh my gosh.
I know that name.
In the movie My Dad, sorry, edit this out.
Oh, you're talking about with Brian Bosworth, the one where he goes undercover.
Oh, yeah.
What is the name of that movie?
I know, I can't remember.
The tough guy movie.
This is terrible.
I know, just edit this out.
No.
Make us look like geniuses.
Please.
No, I'm just kidding.
Once again, we're all
what is
geniuses.
it called? Wow.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. That was so bad.
James.
That's why it doesn't. because he's John Stone or something like that.
Stone Cold.
Stone Phillips.
He reminded me of some other loser. I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
But with the, like, glasses and stuff, the biker guy.
Well, this isn't just a story about a girl who ran away from her responsibility.
Yeah.
There's some crazy intrigue going on here because we kind of switched to a scene. We don't know what time, how much later it is, but the writers show up on the shoreline where we get treated to the drum style of the unknown drummer, he's having the time of his life. And there's a full drums. It's not a single, like, drum. You know, he's not doing, like, bongos or anything like that. He has a full drum set out on this, like, dock.
I kind of thought that would be cool if they did that, like, for more of it. But, like, just that one part where you see him drumming.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about that. No one ever talked to him. No one even acknowledged his existence. And it would be one thing for it to just be like a weird drum thing going on the soundtrack. But there was literally a guy playing the drums.
So,
and
like,
what happens is they see that one of their fellow writers is impaled on a stick.
Right.
In the water. And everyone's like, how could this have happened?
It's a tragedy.
It's real bad.
It's real bad, guys.
And the emotions of the bikers are very, it's a sad, emotional moment for them.
They just got the autopsy report. Definitely dead by a huge stabbing through his body.
More spikes, yeah.
Yeah, the guy with one arm, he looks like he's about to tear up. You know, and that guy's tough as nails.
That's right.
Right, they're all tough, but I mean, that was a biker that went with them, that rode with them, so...
I remember when that guy graduated from biker class and joined our gang.
It's a little ride or die.
I thought that this was a little overly emotional in some parts.
What are you talking about?
Little dramatic, little theatrical in some places, but
yeah. Better equip words.
I mean, it's a common complaint in traditional action movies that they don't go for the emotional beats, right? It's all just action, manliness. This movie gives you, a little bit of from column A, column B, and column whatever else is left over.
Right.
So we should be thanking the people who made this movie.
You're right, Joel.
I'm just kidding. It was lame.
I think there's less fighting than you would expect in an action movie.
Substantially.
Yeah, it was more like a set of, like, people who you are told are bikers, occasionally riding around and occasionally having to fight people.
They set an expectation with the opening, with the violence or the showing of weapons that they just kind of leave on the wayside for filling in a story that is not very good. But anyways, to go back to where we were, their friend... suddenly another group of gangs shows up and they're all in those classic cars, the people were saying dressed as pimps, aka the Tigers. And they tell them straight out, we killed your buddy because he was a snitch and he was reporting to the cops about what we were doing. And I don't even think there's like a dispute. Like nobody's like, no, there's no way that could have happened. They're just kind of like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's taken in stride pretty well. They do reference though that he had an object. I cannot recall the proper terminology for the object though, but it was like a very was it gadget? Was that the word?
He had a gadget.
A gadget.
A gadget.
Yeah.
And they were using that like it was a thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he had a gadget? No, he never had one. I've never carried a gadget.
That's ridiculous.
A gadget.
Yeah, like they kept referencing it like everyone would know.
Like as if it's gadget brand electronics or something, like the Walkman.
How did you afford that gadget? Well, I'm undercover for the cops. Oh no! He gets murdered. opened his big mouth.
Baby, you're cute. I'm talking.
I mean,
to
Ogre
Tyler.
had to take care of him, you know?
Yeah. Now, I'm kind of losing the thread about where they go from here, like, because I think there's just so much filler of trying to make it into an actual story type thing. I think at this point they go back to the base or something like that, or I don't know. There's a couple of times where we go into Trash's room. And he's got like a teenage girl's room. He's got like posters on the wall.
Right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with having posters on the
Only
wall.
for girls. No, I don't.
But it does
That
seem
wasn't
a
the
little
reason
bit.
why.
Hey, Joel, I'm glad you never went in my room. When I was
Not while you were awake.
I'm just saying, I had many posters on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
I took a whole X-Men Jim Lee poster comic, and I tore it up, and I put every single image all along the wall, so I could see every X-Men member that Jim Lee drew.
I want them all to look at me while
Yep.
I'm sleeping.
That's right.
The X-Men.
I got the motion for the White Queen pinup that was
course.
in that particular issue.
You've seen that White Queen.
Yep.
It's not what she wears, it's what she doesn't wear.
Correctamundo, my friend.
If
I
you
don't know what
I-
you guys are talking about, but
We're-
I'll just
you know,
take your
Frost.
word for it.
Hey man, it was the 90s. No, I don't know.
I got a lot of for that.
From who? Your parents?
Oh no, they didn't care.
Oh, okay, well.
Random people would come in.
Oh, so you let random strangers into your room, but not me.
No, I mean, I guess you're right, Joel.
Mhm.
I did let random strangers.
Well, there was no X-Men pictures in Trash's
room?
Yeah.
No.
But they did. I can't remember when exactly that happened. They do end up having a kind of a funeral ceremony for their dead friend.
Yeah, that lingered a little bit, didn't it?
Because
Well,
first
is
they
that
do.
for this guy or for the other people?
Oh yeah,
I believe that was for the other guy who died.
No, that was for the other two. That was for the two canoodling on the staircase.
Yep.
When
They were,
Hammer shows up.
Yeah.
It-
And he's carrying a tube, and you know that tube's bad business right away.
Does he
and-
have like potatoes or something?
He's got like a
Oh, that's right. I remember. Sorry.
no, it's like a poster tube, right?
It's like an overnight delivery. Yeah, like a shipping container of like a tube shape.
Yeah,
And he's got, a
Yeah.
gun inside of it.
Oh yeah, the postal man.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So when he approaches these two goofballs on the staircase, at first they're like, "You came to the wrong neighborhood, friend," and of course he just blows them away,
Like you do.
Yeah, there's kind of a chase scene, but he leaves behind a tiger ring to make it look like
Ogre's gang?
Ogre's gang did it. That's right.
Tiger?
And it's not really a plot point.
No. Yeah, he just kind of comes, shoots a couple people on the stairs, and then throws a ring at them. But, like, there are people, like, yelling, like there are people, everybody hears it right away when it happens. And they all jump from what they were doing and, like, run over to see what happened. And they see that there's, like, a couple of their homies, like, down that got shot.
Right.
Yeah. So
And, yeah.
yeah, I think Hammer is a sheriff, right? Like we see him at a police station later, but he was going undercover to like cause havoc on behalf of somebody. It's not really clear.
Yeah, I think,
I think he was hired by the girl's father
yeah,
rich
but,
to go. Yeah, he was hired by the girl's father to go retrieve her.
mhm.
But the reason why he was hired was because he's an expert of the Bronx.
Oh, he grew
has-
up on those
He
streets.
grew up on the streets of the Bronx, and he knows the gang affiliations very well.
Right.
So for some reason, getting the girl back means to blow away a couple of the riders and frame it on the Tigers.
Yeah, I don't understand that really, but I guess yeah, it's his way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
He probably was, given an open-end way to finish do the job however he decided it was fit to.
Later, he successfully frames Trash, and I can't remember exactly how he does that.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
do you want to know?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go into it.
All right.
Because the story's just all over the place.
How he frames Trash is...
he leaves a lock of his hair.
It kind of gets to the point where, like, Trash has to go to the Tigers for a specific reason.
When he does that, it's because Anne has been kidnapped again.
Okay. She got kidnapped. And so what happens is while he's traveling to go see the Tigers, he basically murders one of the Tigers' guards with a very loud weapon. And then I think he just looks at Trash and he's like, well, they're...
He like winks at him.
Yeah, he winks at him.
Deal with that.
Yeah, and then runs for it.
Ain't I a stinker?
These guys are not...
Again, I'm not sure how this is getting the girl back to her father, but there you go.
Well, the whole situation is kind of... It's a topsy-turvy kind of a world they're in.
I mean, maybe he figures if the gangs destroy each other, then he won't have to deal with them. Take care of two birds with one stone. He can take back the girl and no longer have the gang issue in the Bronx.
Getting the girl is a reason for him to destroy the gangs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get Shorty. She's not very short. Okay. So to go back to those two people who got killed on the staircase, we got to have that Viking funeral for them.
Right.
Or Jedi funeral, depending on how you look at it.
Oh, yeah, that was so long. The ride and the throwing of everybody had some ashes in their hand already to throw into the ocean or whatever.
To throw onto themselves.
To throw 1 foot away from them towards the ocean.
Maybe you guys should get close to the water. No. We can't swim.
And then... I mean, it wasn't this scene, but it'd been pretty hilarious. They threw the ashes onto the fishermen. The kids fishing.
It looks like two kids. Yeah. They have one scene when they're on you can clearly see there's somebody who's got a fishing line and they just walk over like, oh, I'm going to fish. Hey, is that a camera? Like, no, don't look. Oh, cut.
Yeah, it's pretty funny how quickly they're there and then they just turn invisible.
What happened? Yeah. And there's definitely a different scene where there's kind of an overpass shot where we're seeing people underneath the overpass, but there's definitely cars above that are just going.
Full traffic.
And that's the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah, it made me laugh.
That's almost on the level of like practical effects thing. The kind of like mistakes you can see are very enjoyable.
Yeah, totally. That's kind of fun. I pulled up the movie just to kind of refresh my memory about some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had forgotten that the way they get the girl and kidnap her is by they throw a net on Trash.
Oh, the net.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the net.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, Trash had a meeting with the rest of the Wheeler guys and told them about the tiger. Wait a second. No, he says to them he thinks it's too easy or something. Like, the Tigers didn't do this. Somebody wants us to think the Tigers did this. And then, there afterwards, he's going through town or something, and the guy, they're the ones that are the hockey guys.
Yeah.
They come over and get the girl, and they throw a net on Trash.
It's his greatest weakness, honestly.
His nets.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You see how lanky he is. You know, he gets one limb in there, all of a sudden he's stuck.
He's screwed.
Yeah.
Somebody throws an empty 6-pack plastic ring at him.
Right.
It's going to catch in all his limbs.
That's why you need to clip those rings that come on cans, because you might catch trash in them.
Save your rider friends.
Just really dangerous.
Yeah, pretty much.
These hockey guys are not. I'm gonna say this. None of the gangs were scary, except for maybe the zombie ones.
Yeah, those like chuds that lived under the city.
Yeah,
like, not even a gang.
They were just I don't know, undead or something?
They had, like, intelligence because they, like, set up that guy to be like, help me, you know, trying to draw them out to where they could attack other people, but they're, like, albino-ish looking, like, acrobats.
Yeah.
That's a perfect explanation of what these things are.
Yes.
They're jumping around and yeah, like stabbing people. Yeah. That's where most people die, underneath the city.
I think the best part of this movie was the tunnels. The tunnels were awesome.
This is the thrilling part.
I bet a lot of them weren't in America.
I have a feeling
yeah.
there are maybe like 5 scenes in this movie that were done in America. Everything else in Italy.
Probably.
I can only imagine.
A couple of establishing shots, especially with the main actress.
Yeah.
And then the rest all, in Italy.
Definitely the drummer scene, America. The drummer scene.
You think they brought the entire crew over for that?
Yeah. You could see the skyline, man.
I think they used CGI. Early CGI from 82.
I don't know, actually. I don't know if there's any places in Italy that look like that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But there were some buildings that looked a little bit more ancient to me than I think I would see in New York.
So, let's talk about the hockey gang, who has a name. I just don't remember what it is because it doesn't make any
the zombies.
Sense. They were called the zombies?
Yeah.
The zombies weren't called the zombies, but the other zombies were called the zombies.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
That's weird.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because it's referenced that his girlfriend was taken by the zombies.
Oh.
And then every time you see the girlfriend in desperate trouble, she's next to the Shogun guy.
Yeah.
Who is the master?
From Bruce Leroy. And his gang of rollerbladers or roller skaters. Deadly roller skaters.
See, that's what I wanted to talk about. It's like every gang except for the Riders actually seems to have a base. Like, because the Tigers definitely, we were talking about, they got these plush living style and all this stuff. The zombies have like a full-on dojo where they just like practice fighting all the time.
Yeah. You know, non-stop. These guys do not sleep. They do not eat. All they do is roller skate and swing metal sticks at each other.
And they practice, and they've got, bodies, standees.
Mm-hmm.
They can beat up. They look like plywood standees.
It's the proto Foot Clan, is what it is.
I just want to know, like, where are they getting their costumes from? Like,
well, there was one big 5 that they raided.
Oh, fair enough.
In the Bronx before it got shut down.
They remind me of those, like, puffy vests in the 80s. Puffy, but they're in a triangular shape over them. They're like a puffy shoulder guard over their chest.
They all have matching helmets, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but their boss, whose name I already forgot. I mean, like, when I saw him, I was like, I had to pull up a picture of Cyrax from Mortal Kombat 3. Because he, like, obviously he's not a robot like Cyrax is, but he's got a big old ponytail.
He looks just like,
I'm pretty sure Cyrax was inspired by.
I mean, it feels like it. It feels like it must be. But he's like a cool, imposing kind of figure when you see him. He's like taller than a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And I don't think he does much when the hits the fan.
No, he doesn't do much.
He's like he's a leader that doesn't really fight. He's just made to look tough.
He's a motivational speaker. So.
I feel like, do you think everybody had ponytails they were growing under those helmets?
I think, as soon as they joined the gang, they just started growing ponytails as well.
Officially, you start to... Mm-hmm. He's the only one that looks like that right now, but maybe they're all going to turn into guys like him at some point.
I feel like...
No doubt.
He set up the gym.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, I guess I need a gang. And so he found like the worst gang. And it was these hockey player guys. He's like, hockey? Okay. Like, he didn't know about the dance crew, but the dance crew actually kicks ass. So I guess that's not, that wasn't the other option.
Hey, look, they own a piece of turf, and we know why.
Uh-huh. You talking about the dance crew owns a piece of turf?
Oh yeah.
You got to go through the dance crew.
You got to go through them
if you want to get to
Oh my god,
the
I'm
ogre.
so scared to go through that area.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
They have batons, guys.
I was not scared of the dance crew. And then when they systematically beat down the writers without any effort, it's like, holy crap! Let's watch this game.
Well, I mean, let's really look at the biker gang real quick. The riders, you know, they fought the roller skaters,
Yes.
the zombies. But that's all you see in this movie, them actually fighting. So I have a feeling they just kind of ride around their motorcycles all day looking for more gasoline. You know.
I mean, I feel like the dancers are at the top.
Okay, dancers on the top,
followed by the tigers.
Okay.
Followed by the riders, followed by the zombies. Like when it comes to level of badassery.
What about the ghouls?
Oh, the ghouls are like they're the chaotic evil group. You know,
they're
just like,
I think scariest to kill somebody.
If they got real organized, I'm sure they could just have taken over.
So those might be stronger than the tigers, really.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they're stronger than the dancers because it's so unexpected.
Like, if you put the dancers in the place of the riders, if they were the ones who had to go on that trip, they probably would have taken out all the ghouls.
Systematically, without any issue.
Yeah.
We're talking about the same dancers, right? The ones
metal hats
that stand and pose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And speak in rhymes or something.
I think the lady, the boss lady did, but the other ones didn't. I don't think they said a thing.
They didn't say a single thing because they know not to speak over their master.
Yep. It's called discipline.
I've never seen like a Clockwork Orange. Was it anything like that?
You think there were a couple of droogs there? No. No, those guys definitely beat up people, but they're not beating up another. They're beating up. They do beat up another gang, but no, it's not like that.
Do you think the movie is trying to be like a Clockwork?
There's nothing fun about the droogs in a Clockwork Orange. I mean, I think it's like a warrior thing. Like, they had the baseball gang, they had the mime gang, dancers. Like, you've seen the Warriors. Was there a dancer gang in the Warriors?
No, there's no dancer gang in the Warriors.
What do those mimes do?
Mimes?
Yeah, isn't there mimes? Isn't there a gang of mimes?
The Baseball Furies.
The people with like white face paint.
Yeah, the Baseball Furies.
Those are the Baseball Furies.
Yeah, they got white face paint on and baseball helmets.
I'm just showing my ignorance. I don't know.
No, it's okay, my man.
I don't know anything about the movie.
I cannot. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I remember the ending. I remember the beginning. I remember some really cool scenes in the middle of the movie. Also, soundtrack flippin' amazing for the Warriors. But I cannot recall a mime gang. I can recall the Baseball Furies, which do paint their faces, but they kind of half-ass fight for the most part. Like, they rely too much on their baseball bats, whereas the Warriors rely on their fists. Here's your mini review of the Warriors for you in the middle of the Bronx Warriors. And they just punch their way to the end, pretty much.
I see.
The Warriors are tough.
I've seen parts of the Warriors. I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through, but I know that Dexter's dad is in it.
Yeah, James Remar.
Yeah,
he's a warrior.
Also, the guy that was in Dreamscape, that's like the bad guy, David Patrick Kelly from Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one who's like, come out and play.
That's right.
Come out and play.
With the bottles. He puts bottles on his hands and they make a noise.
I don't like that.
Clinks them together.
Bad David Patrick. Okay, so...
I'm sure he's going to be busy trying to find drugs in the forest or something.
The zombies kidnap Anne.
Yep.
And Ice betrays the writers because he's tired of them not doing the logical thing. He thinks that Trash is head over heels for Anne, so that he's making all these stupid decisions. So he hooks up with Hot Dog and Hammer.
Hey, these are writers, Joel. These are writers.
My combo is going to be Hot Dog, Hammer, and Ice.
Sarah, are these your dad's friends?
Honestly, I don't
hanging
know.
out with Hot Dog?
It could be.
Hot Dog and Hammer. Okay, sorry.
Squeezy, Scooch, Scooter, Smithers, and
Hot Dog and Hammer.
Potato. What was that one called? Yeah, anyway.
No. So,
it is. It's a neighborhood handles type of thing. You get your own little name in the hood.
Yeah, it's like being a trucker. You know, you get a trucker's handle.
Right.
You get a hood handle. So, anyways, Ice is going to go get Anne for them. Or is Ice the one who captures Anne? No, that's right. We already determined that the zombies got her. So Ice is going to go work with the zombies, but Trash determines the only way he's going to be able to take on the zombies, all of them all at once, is he's got to talk to the ogre.
Yes.
Which is, the ogre probably lives like 4 blocks down that way. The Bronx isn't that big. You know.
But to travel all the way through the Bronx?
Well, they have to go, they got to go through the dancers, whatever the hell they were called. They got to go through the fish. They got to go through the lobster queens.
It's like the Odyssey.
They got to go. He's probably okay, Nick. Don't worry.
Use your herbs.
Somebody said it just exploded in the video game to cut back in again.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, he knows it's going to be, it's practically a death trap, you know? It's like,
that's
okay,
right.
But he's going to do it. So he took Squeegee and Busboy.
Skinny.
And they go, and the first thing they do
Whiskey Pete.
is run through the area where the dancers are, and the dancers heartily beat them, like without an issue. There's no contest there. They do, you know, some tap and right on their heads.
Yeah.
But he's spared by the lovely boss of the dancers because she likes his style or something. I don't know. He likes something. Then afterwards, they have to go into the underground, and that's when those chuds show up. And those are mean chuds.
That's right.
I don't think of them as being humans. They seem like they're monster creatures. Everybody else seems like humans that have put some kind of style behind what they're doing. These guys seem like it's not a style. They are creatures, and this is what they live like every day. They're in the dirt. They're underground. They have weird eyes. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. They lost their humanity.
They're undercover. They're all alone. You know, some can get them at any point.
I was trying to think of how New York, like what the city reminds me of, how open it is and everything, and it reminds me of that part in Quick Change where it's like totally abandoned.
Where they're just trying to they're driving like, and for some reason there's nobody.
There's
around.
nobody
There's
there.
Station wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an exotic New York that just doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
And I was thinking of the Omega Man, which takes place in Los Angeles, but you know, there's big swaths where, because he's supposed to be like the last man on Earth. So he's driving around. That's another movie where you could like see cars driving in the background, though.
Yeah.
But it feels empty. It's like, oh, I'm never going to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's rare.
But the problem with these chuds is not that they're unhuman-like. Like, they're brutal. You know, everyone else, like, beats everybody up.
Throws a net on them.
You know, these attacking, like, 3 at once with their big spikes ready to just stab right through people.
They have a formula, and they stick to that formula, you know?
Yes. Like, stab first, ask questions later.
That's right.
Possibly.
Yeah. So they straight up kill people pretty quickly. A lot of the other interactions don't involve people dying. I mean, there's a couple of emotional moments where some of the bikers die. But if you encounter these guys, you're pretty much likely to get killed.
Yeah, this is the real death trap.
And they're not just gonna throw a net on you and hope that works. They're gonna it doesn't say, do they eat people or what do they, I don't know.
I think we're supposed to interpret that based on the way they're acting, but yeah, we don't actually see them do that. So they make it through the tunnels. One of them dies of Trash and the 2 guys they brought along. One of the guys dies, and as they're making their way through, his buddy with the mustache that I was saying was probably also in love with Trash, tries to warn him that Ice is betraying him.
Yeah.
So he runs down into the tunnels, but Hammer is chasing right after him. So he gets caught by those cannibal weirdos right away. And they kind of set up another trap for Trash, but I can't even remember what happens. He gets out of it somehow because he does end up eventually to where the tigers are.
Yeah. Yeah, he meets up with them. And they are in like a nice, like smooth castle kind of a place. And
A smooth castle?
yeah, it's like everybody's dressed like pimps. And they've got like a piano, and they've got, glasses of champagne and stuff. It's still abandoned the way everything else is. It's all run down. But they've put nice things in the space, and he has like a throne in there. What's his face? The ogre.
Yeah.
Who, I didn't know that was the ogre. I was picturing like an actual ogre. But then when we got there, I knew. Yeah.
I mean, because we meet Fred Williamson earlier in the movie, and I don't remember them mentioning that he was the ogre, but maybe they did, and I
feel like I didn't notice it either.
It's hard to follow what's going on in the beginning, because
right.
At that point, it's just a bunch of gibberish, like the ogre,
random
blah, blah,
stuff,
blah.
Yeah.
For some reason, these two goofballs, rather than like make themselves known that they're here to like talk to somebody, they decide to sneak in. And when they get caught, like they assault the guy that catches, or do they just get caught and then get taken away? I can't remember. Oh, no, they're trying to sneak through, and Hammer is like right behind them, and he gets caught by a guard who he just shoots.
That's right.
And then he tries, that's when he tries
like,
to frame
deal
Trash.
with it, yeah.
Trash and his buddy get caught by the tigers. They get taken before the ogre, and nothing comes of that. Everybody's like, "We believe you, Trash. You're the coolest." Something.
I feel like, what's the name of the actor that plays the ogre?
Fred Williamson.
He has like a couple of big scenes where he speaks and fights and stuff. And I feel like those are like where the most money was spent for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I like his lady friend.
Yeah.
The lady with the whip.
She doesn't just have a whip. She also has the claws.
Oh, yeah.
There are people with like knives that are like they're like a brass knuckles, but with a knife.
Yeah.
And there are people that have knives like coming out of their boots and stuff. And there are motorcycles that have swords that come out. And then there's the lady who has like the...
She got Catwoman claws.
Yeah, they're like rings that go out long over her fingers. And if she bends her fingers, they stick out and stab you.
Yeah. See, yeah, the opening thing, they were showing all these weapons, which did actually come into play in the movie. One of the ones was that somebody had like a blade that came out of his shoe.
Yeah.
And the guy, Hot Dog, who is not part of the gang, he's like some sort of like middleman who works with the outside and with the gangs to like, I don't know if he sells stuff to them or whatever. He has, like a club foot or something. So they focus in on the fact that he's got one shoe built up higher than the other shoe. And I'm like, oh, I bet the twist is that's going to be the blade or something like that. No. In fact, Hot Dog, I think, is the one who gets cut by, or gets killed by that blade. It turns out it's an Ice's shoe.
Yeah, totally.
So I don't know why because they did it more than once. It wasn't just like a quick, like, blink and you miss it. Like, oh, he's got one extended heel for some reason. They were like, we want you to notice this. Why? I don't know.
To mislead you.
I guess. Because they knew audience members were going to be like, where is that?
So, Hot Dog and Hammer are the ones that are always meeting up in the cab of a big truck, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Hot Dog, Hammer, and Squeezy.
And they always...
There's no Squeezy, Joel.
There's Pitbull Puss, Heathcliff.
Not in your world,
Magic
there's
of the
not.
Oh, you haven't met Squeezy? He's pretty cool.
About Scoochie or Mudflap.
We don't talk about Mudflap anymore. Mudflap is dead to me. Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
And Butch.
Fred...
Yeah, don't forget Butch.
Fred Williamson, the ogre, and his lady friend are like, we're gonna help you. So they have to go back through the tunnels.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
But they give you a shot of that really cool part that's like, you're on one level and then there's like an opening and you can drop down into another level of the underground tunnels.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the more interesting camera movements. Most of the time it was just stationary, but there was some interesting things going on there. I was trying to remember the music.
Oh my god.
Because I don't remember if it was good or not. I guess...
I mean, most memorable, of course, is the drummer.
Yeah.
I think we were disappointed because of how good and good in quotation marks the music from A Man Called Rage was.
Yeah.
It had some like digital keyboard stuff going on.
Was this by the same person who did Man Called Rage?
No, it wasn't. It just happened to be another Italian knockoff
movie.
one. And I have to say, 1990's The Bronx Warriors is way more popular movie, but I feel like A Man Called Rage was way more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was fun to watch A Man Called Rage. It was funny. It was like just so random. This one was taking itself pretty seriously.
Exactly.
And even though there were some cool things that they did with effects and there were some cool like gangs and stuff, it seemed like it either should have been more action oriented or more fun, and I feel like it's just real serious.
Yeah.
And I forgot that there's that part where Crash
Bandicoot.
The guy's
Dr.
name
Cortex.
is Crash.
Crash and the Boys.
Exactly, that's trash. Garbage. This millionaire girl wants to be with a guy called Trash.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to upset Daddy, and Daddy's not going to like Trash.
That's right.
So...
Trash saved her life, Joel.
So what was the part?
I forgot that his friend is, like, hanging there almost dead, and then he, like, kills him.
Oh,
Snaps
yeah.
his neck.
That was
Yeah.
Mustache.
Yeah.
He's like, I always loved you the most.
Yeah. And Trash is, like, crying, but then he breaks his neck.
Yep. Single tear.
And then...
He doesn't want him to suffer anymore or something.
Yep.
And then the ogre comes back to fight the, like, Shogun guy, doesn't he?
Well, when they make it through the tunnels, and I think that doesn't Whip Lady die here?
By one of the,
Or, no, she doesn't die till the ambush at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
They make it through, luckily, because the ogre and Whip Lady are badass, and they could definitely make it through the tunnels.
Yeah, they kick everybody's butt, even those creatures. Mm-hmm. They kick people's butts.
So by the time we get to the zombies' hideout, it's the ogre, it's Whip Lady, and it's Trash. I don't think the other guy made it through the tunnels this time.
But Ice was, like, hanging out there.
Yep.
And he's there, and the girl's there.
Caught him right there. The betrayal.
Whatever her name is, yeah.
And so they have a showdown, and they win. I can't really remember. You're totally right, Sarah. The most memorable part about it was the underground tunnel fights.
Mm-hmm.
I think those were probably the most frightening moments, as already mentioned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier.
That was interesting. It was different than the rest of the movie. It was different than... I mean, the only part it was similar to the movies it was, knocking off was in Escape from New York, the ones that, bang on the manhole and reach through the ground, but he doesn't actually fight those people.
No.
Escape from New York is just a series of encounters.
Yeah.
In that showdown scene, there's, like, the hockey guys, and then there's a bunch of guys in just, like, leotards.
Well, they're training. They haven't earned their hockey.
They haven't earned the shoulder pads. They're
Man,
just
Fred
like
Williamson kicks that guy's ass. Wow.
these guys are just like standing there in like red singlets.
As you do. It's going to go down.
I mean, I feel like that Shogun guy wasn't really that much of a threat to anybody. He was just a guy that stood there looking badass. This is some really 70s drapey shirts that the fancy tigers were wearing.
I forgot the face through the window. Oh, knife in the back.
Dang.
That actually was a pretty good fight, but the rest of it, I don't. Trash is into it. I'm gonna fight two guys. I'm trash.
Anyway. So then after that showdown, Hammer tells the police that they need to like come in and just like kill everybody in the Bronx.
Yeah.
He's basically like, it's terrible in there. Let's just kill everybody.
Yep. Clean them out.
And they do like a raid where they go into the Tigers. Oh boy.
They go to the Tiger's Den.
The Tiger's Den.
Well, the interesting part about this is it almost feels like it could be the end of the movie because like Anne has been rescued and she's like, I'm going to stay with you, Trash. And Trash is like, sweet.
Yeah.
He goes to Ogre's like, well, so you're really that millionaire girl and you want to stay here? Haha, that's crazy. And he talks to Trash and he's like, did you know now that you're going to be with Anne, you're going to be part of the millionaire clan too, you know? That's going to be your money. And Trash is like, it's not that way at all.
He said something like, you're going to be in charge of one of the biggest
companies
companies in the world.
Yep.
It's just like taking that for granted, like that he's gonna have all her money.
Trash is like, no, I'm not interested in any of that. And the Ogre's like, well, I'm sorry to hear you to say that. And you're like, oh man,
yep.
Is there gonna be a betrayal or something? And you see all of Hammer's like cops like surrounding the building and
there was a big lead up. Yeah, it was like flash to them coming, flash to them hanging out,
riding their horses in and stuff like that.
And she plays a nice little piano song for everybody and the runaway. And then they're like, wait a minute, we have a surprise for you.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that because we got a surprise for you. And then it's like, happy birthday. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they bring out a birthday cake that's like made to look like the city.
Like, congratulations. Like, what?
Happy birthday, the Bronx.
Happy 18th birthday. Congratulations on inheriting all that money.
Every post-apocalyptic movie should end with a birthday party.
Yeah. So, and then they try to, I don't know how they're trying to make you feel. But then the, like, cops come in and they just raid and they kill a bunch of people, like, practically everybody.
Yeah, they do. They go through most of the Tiger Gang. We see Whip Girl get killed. There's so many shots of people getting flame right next to them and being like, ugh! And I, like, it's really silly. There's at least... I'd say there was like 6 or 7 shots of people getting near the flamethrower thing and being like throwing their arms in the air. And at least one shot of somebody actually on fire. No, you know what? I don't know if we saw somebody on fire. I was thinking of this week's Outlander where a woman climbs onto a burning pyre. Spoiler, sorry.
That sounds intense.
Get your brain back to the future of 1990.
Yeah, man, this is the year 1990 right now, Joe.
I apologize.
The distant future, the year 1990.
The lady from Outlander finds another ring of stones. It sends her to the 1990, the Bronx Warriors.
Yeah. Have you heard of Radiohead? Oh, wow. Anyways, everybody gets blown away. The Ogre gets blown away, and Anne, in just this spectacular thing, she jumps in front of a gun that's about to hit Trash and gets killed. You know, so there goes Hammer's paycheck.
Trash is like, I can't believe this happened. And she goes, remember what you said? In this part of the city, it's like death is always just part of life.
Oh.
And Trash is like, no. And he
I didn't mean literally.
he like grabs the guy and like drags him with his motorcycle, like ties him to a rope.
He ties him to a rope and drags him behind his motorcycle.
And that's the end.
That is the closing shot.
It's pretty amazing.
And it's like, it's a long road.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I thought about after this. Was like Rambo.
Yeah, First Blood.
Ending. But yeah, it leaves you with this weird, like, what just happened feeling. Like, we watched a bunch of, like, I don't know, do you feel like it was supposed to be, like, something bigger than it was? Like a Shakespearean type of tragedy? Like Capulets and Montagues or something?
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, it was, yeah, like you said, it's just so serious the entire time. Like, it was supposed to be a huge dramatic moment and a slaughter of all these things. And then, like, this movie has 2 sequels. So.
Yeah, I was about to mention, guys, don't worry. There's 2 more movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see what Trash is up to.
My question is Trash ever gonna love again?
Did James Bond ever learn to love after he lost his wife?
James Bond lost his wife?
Yeah.
Did Adrian Monk ever learn to love again? After he lost Trudy?
Oh no, Joel.
I don't know. We're only in season 5. And so far, the answer is absolutely not.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well.
So, would you guys recommend this movie to people?
Yeah.
I would talk to people about it. I would see if they had seen it or knew what it was, or I would maybe show them a part of it, but I don't know that I wouldn't sit down and watch it again myself all the way through.
I did part of what Sarah had described. I showed a part of the movie recently at the comic book store. It was pretty well received.
Nice.
The particular scene, of course, being the most pivotal scene with the drummer.
Oh, yeah.
And, the dead man and the kids fishing on the other pier on the side of the...
Yep.
But yeah, the 2 gangs meeting it's pretty good. Pretty good scene. And then just having that weirdo with the ghoulish face paint just like, hey, Trash.
I was just picturing that scene with, like, the Sanford and Sons, like, music playing over it. There's a dead guy over there. Well, I mean, they're so silly. The characters are so silly in this, and they're taking it so serious that it's like, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not saying it's an unwatchable movie. I'm just saying I don't know that many people that would enjoy it.
Got it.
I might know a few that I would recommend it to.
Well, you know, people that enjoy, like, a silly, not, you know,
because
almost
it's not
so bad
good.
it's good
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to post-apocalyptic, so bad it's good movies, like, I prefer, we already talked about Man Called Rage. Desert Warrior with Lou Ferrigno, I think, is more entertaining than this movie is. Something like Cherry 2000 almost, too, but that's a little...
I feel like
that's a little gross. You know?
They get a little bit slow moving in those movies. It's like from this era, they had enough money to like have the idea and stuff, but they didn't necessarily have enough in the budget to do the action or things that they needed to do throughout to keep it being like a on the edge of your seat type of movie.
Yeah. They spent it all on Mark Gregory's perm.
I mean, they can't all be stone cold.
No,
so.
I mean, that's a masterpiece. This is not a masterpiece.
Joel? What's the other biker gang movie you really like? Would you recommend that one instead?
Yes, I think you're talking about the Muppets Take Manhattan. No, what are you
also
talking about?
A good movie. No, the Unity Friendship.
Miami Connection.
Miami Connection. Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't seen that movie all the way through. So
okay.
For all I know, after the first 30 minutes, it just takes a nosedive.
Oh, okay.
You get to a point where you laugh so hard you just can't continue, and that
fair enough.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to say about it?
I'm good.
There's one piece of trivia that I wanted to point out about the actor, the main actor who played Trash, Mark Gregory, on IMDb, that I think is really interesting. And that is, first of all, he was 17 when he played Trash in this movie.
Wow.
First acting gig.
That's a big job.
And this particular piece of trivia is really interesting. He beat off 2,000 other hopefuls for the role of Trash in 1990, The Bronx Warriors.
Read that again?
He beat off 2,000 other hopefuls for the role of Trash in 1990, The Bronx Warriors. Can you imagine having to beat off that many people to get a role in a movie?
I think the wording might be incorrect.
What do you mean? I'm saying there were 2,000 other guys, and he had to beat off every single one of them.
You've mentioned. I think you might just mean that they were trying to go for the role.
He beat them.
Yeah,
he didn't
beat them.
Beat off them.
Right. Not only did he beat them, but they off. Like, they're no longer in the running because they've been beaten off.
That's right.
2,000 guys were beaten off.
No, they were like staples on like a post or something, and he had to like get them off of the pole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
he won the role.
He ran through the gauntlet of all the other guys.
Once again, you're thinking of Outlander.
Right.
So
the moral of the story is go watch Outlander.
He won the role over 2,000 other possible actors by beating them off in this movie. Okay, I got it. Okay. So I'm going to read the outro stuff. You guys think of a lesson that you learned from 1990, The Bronx Warriors. Hello, listeners. If you have any suggestions or comments you want to leave us about my inappropriate use of the words beat and off, please write into pleasedon'tpodcast@gmail.com or message us on Facebook, facebook.com/PDSMiOS. If you subscribe to us on iTunes, we'd appreciate it if you left us a star rating on that program. And if you, let's see, what else is there? Oh, yeah, you have a few bucks you want to toss our way? You know, this podcast, unfortunately, is not free to produce, although we keep doing it. Aaron has been selling himself at the local truck stop.
Yeah.
Did you say you had to...
The streets are pretty hard.
You had to beat off a couple of people for that role or something like that?
Well, it was more like 3,000.
Okay,
Joel.
well, that's, you know. Anyways, if you could toss a few bucks our way at coffee.com, that's ko-fi.com/PDSMiOS. For the price of $3, you can buy Aaron the energy drink he desperately needs to be able to function as an adult in this modern era.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, listener.
Thank you for listening, everybody. This was a silly one.
That's what I was hoping for. That's
yeah.
I thought 1990 would be just what we needed.
Yeah.
To get back in the groove.
Heck yeah, it was a great view.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to David DeRoy for our theme music and Jed Dowtree for our podcast logo. If you want to hear more podcasts like us, check out yourtrumpetaudio.com. All right. You guys have a lesson that you learned from the classic film 1990, The Bronx Warrior. Not to be mixed up with 1999-2, class of 1999-2, The Substitute.
Okay.
Hey Nick, can you take a screenshot of that? There's a button on there for the camera. Oh, never mind. He saw you. He moved. That liquor moved his anus. So
Hashtag
there we go.
PS4 share.
What the
Yep,
hell?
screenshot. Very nice. Okay, we'll have to put that to the Facebook
But how
group.
do we get him to twerk, though, is the real question.
Maybe if you shoot him with a shotgun right in his bunghole.
I don't even want to think about this anymore.
Oh, sorry.
So
It's okay.
1990, the Bronx Warrior.
It was funny.
It's about a licker's butthole. Okay.
Resident Evil 2 liquor.
I gotta edit this.
Lessons.
Lessons. Well, one thing I learned is that if in the year 1990, if you're a biker, you might be hanging out with people who dress up like Nazis.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's one thing I learned.
Yeah, that was something we were discussing because
it was pretty cringy. It was pretty cringy.
Sex Pistols used to have, the swastika on there, and it's supposed to be like, we don't care, look at us, kind of thing, like a rebellion type thing. And nowadays, it's just disgusting. It's gross. It doesn't matter in what context it is.
Not good. Not good.
In the movie, to give it the benefit of the doubt, it was a biker thing.
Yeah, biker thing. That's what I got out of it.
Whatever. It's not cool. Aaron, put down that swastika.
Oh, I will. I will, Joel. I am not a fan of Nazis.
I know.
It's one thing I learned, though.
Aaron is not a violent man, but he has been known to punch a Nazi or two.
Sure thing. I also support people who punch Nazis.
My lesson for this movie is you need to have a secret weapon.
Oh.
Everybody needs to have a secret weapon for when it all goes down. If there's like a really tough, like, we're at war situation, you need to have something in your shoe or something up your sleeve or something, that people don't see coming so that you can enhance your abilities to fight and defend yourself.
You definitely reminded me of something with that, Sarah, because we kept focusing on Hot Dog's orthopedic shoe.
Yes.
The entire movie. It felt like there were a lot of camera close-ups on it when Hot Dog was walking places. And I remember thinking, like, the whole time, like, oh, he'd better have a knife. That thing.
At the very least, like, yeah, what if it's like a bomb or something? He takes off that shoe and it explodes. Yeah.
Nope, we don't get that, but he gets stabbed by a knife.
No, he gets Ice's knife.
Yep.
So that's okay. R.I.P. Hot Dog.
You're right. Secret weapon. I agree.
You're in heaven with a squeegee now.
That's right. That extra Nerf gun that I hide, the mini one, the mini Nerf gun, I hide it in my back pocket.
I think that's a good lesson, though. I think that's a good lesson for everyone.
Secret weapon.
In life.
My lesson is that if you want me to give your movie extra points, you should put lots of animals in it. And there are a couple of cute animals in this movie. But if you want to lose points, those animals should appear to be getting hurt, which is what happens in this movie. R.I.P. to all those horses who got blown away. By did they have lasers?
The horses?
No, yeah, horses with lasers. No, the SWAT team.
Laser horses.
Laser horses.
I don't think they did. I think I'm just associating the...
I don't think so, no. I think that they had blowtorches with horses.
Single blowtorch.
And they had a lot of trips and stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for listening. Bye.
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 EarTrumpetAudio.com.
Ideas and entertainment.
Loud and clear.